This episode of the Brilliance Plus Passion podcast is brought to you by Groundhog Day is an event, not a business strategy. Are you ready to finally solve those pesky issues that keep holding back your business success and never seem to go away? Embrace the power of the S.P.R.I.N.G formula that unearths the issues and opportunities burrowed beneath the surface, and grow your business so you thrive from your intersection of your brilliance and your passion. Claim your copy today at www.thegroundhogbook.com. Welcome to the Brilliance Plus Passion podcast. Join us as we celebrate entrepreneurs, business creators, and brilliant minds who reveal what they are doing to make the world a better place by being part of it. Be sure to visit our website at www.brilliancepluspassion.com. While you're there, subscribe to us via your favorite network. Now sit back, lean in, tune in, get your notepad and 2 pens ready, and let's get started.
My name is Adam Homey. I am your host, and I am honored by your wise decision to tune in and invest in yourself today. Right now, we are speaking with Leo Kanell, who's known as the funding consultant. Let me just tell you a little bit about him. He founded Seven Figures Funding 14 years ago when he struggled to fund his first business and realized that funding was a massive obstacle for many new and small business owners. And after helping a few friends and family receive funding, he started to realize a pattern existed for funding success. And he was already behind many of the most successful entrepreneurs like Under Armour's Kevin Plank, Google's Larry Page, and Nike's Phil Knight. And now with tens of thousands of hours in business funding experience, Leo and his team have created a systematic approach to connect entrepreneurs with the best funding resources on the marketplace. This is a very important topic for entrepreneurs, for business creators who have struggled to get traditional funding. This is something that's actually kind of a big deal to me because I've received traditional funding from institutions, paid the loans off perfectly, and then got treated basically like a criminal because I said, hey, that was so much fun, let's do another debt consolidation loan. So I love to speak with people like Leo because we have found these topics are particularly popular in helping entrepreneurs understand there is capital available and there are ways to leverage your business so that you are not trapped in the credit cycle. So Leo, welcome aboard. It's great to have you here.
Adam, excited to be here and connect with the audience and obviously the Brilliance and Passion podcast. Your reputation precedes you. We're excited to share value and connect and hopefully give everybody, a little bit more empowerment so that they aren't held hostage by these banks and lenders.
Yeah. Now, the first couple questions we typically ask, we've already, I think, maybe halfway answered, but I want to hear you say it in your own words. So the first question that I have for you is, how does the work you do make the world a better place for your clients, customers, and society at large?
It's a great question. And it's something that I thought a lot about before getting into the business funding space. Was I wanted to do something that really made a difference, that left an impact, left a legacy, and created, a lot of benefits for a lot of people involved with it. And so one of the best examples that I can give you is, we've been fortunate to help thousands of entrepreneurs and small business owners secure funding. And they've created a lot of jobs. They've done a lot of great things with that money and things that they wouldn't have been able to do without it. But one story I love is a story of Tara. Tara was kind of a beauty salon expert, did hair and all of that type of stuff in Denver, Colorado. And she was working for a company, and she had this vision of providing, something more and really lifting women up and helping them feel better about the way they looked with their hair, with their makeup, all those types of things. And not just being, a beauty salon, but actually somebody who, gave an experience. And so she had this vision, this dream. She saved up about $10,000, but she knew she needed a lot more. Like, she had to build out this space. She needed to be in a great location, brick and mortar location. And there was so much she didn't know about credit and funding. And so she typed in business lines of credit on Google. My company came up, We connected up. She went through the process, got pre-qualified, and there was a couple things she needed to do to get ready. She had to pay down a credit card balance. We taught her how to get one of those credit limits extended, and all of a sudden her credit score went up 30 points, and we qualified her for $70,000 in funding at 0% interest. She was able to get that business off the ground, and fast forward 5 years later, she just bought her own building, moved into a 4,000 square foot office or space for her business. Now has 20 plus employees, 2 locations. She's got 500 5-star reviews on Google. And when I bumped into her at a GrowthCon event that we sponsored, and she told me all the success she'd had. And sometimes you get these clients money and you don't really know what happens after. And so it was so great to connect and hear about her story and know that we played some part in it at the beginning, because without that help, she wouldn't have been able to launch that business. She wouldn't have had the money. She wouldn't have had the confidence. And so I feel like that really kind of exemplifies, hey, this is how it can work when you have an advocate in your corner to help you with funding.
That is absolutely amazing and inspiring, candidly. So just very briefly, so our listeners understand what we're doing here, what is it that you do?
So what we do is we are a funding marketplace. So on one end, we've got the funding sources, the lenders, the banks, the credit unions, every option out there for whatever you might qualify for. And then on the other side, we have entrepreneurs and business owners and small businesses who need funding. And the vast majority, they don't get it at venture capital. They don't get it at their local bank. They don't get it from SBA. Literally 85 to 90% of new businesses need to find alternate means of funding and financing. And so we are that marketplace that connects them up, that does the automated underwriting. It doesn't hurt their credit to find out. And then it's kind of a second thing too. Not only are we focused on that small business owner and the startup, but we're also focused on business coaches and consultants and trainers who offer programs to help someone start, an Amazon or an e-commerce business, or to get into an online marketing, digital marketing agency, or to invest in real estate or whatever it might be. And so we have a kind of a software and a program for those partners as well to be able to plug in, get funding for their clients. And kind of those are the two ways that we see this marketplace working.
Yeah, real quick personal story before we get to the really fun part here is I remember back in like 2008, I had small business lenders from my bank show up at my home office, unannounced, with paperwork already filled out. All I needed to do is tell them how much I wanted to consolidate, and they called their office, got the number approved, and had me sign. So I did one of those debt consolidation loans to reset the stage in 2008, paid the thing off on time, never was late on a payment even once. And so by 2013, the Great Recession had happened. And yeah, some of those credit cards and whatever had some balances on them again. So I thought, cool, I just paid one of these off. Let's do another one. Boy, you would have thought that I said mean things about their family for even daring to ask. Because we only have a few minutes here, I'll just cut to the point where I realized what a farce this was, is when after I caught them looking at some of the stuff they were coming up with, somehow counting my personal student loan three times against my business valuation or something like that. The loan rep I was working with finally got back to me and said, the underwriters are asking me, why do you have a student loan anyway? And I said, look, I'm 37. I was 37 at the time, 37 years old. And I went to Penn State, and you also know I have an MBA. Yeah, I have a student loan. Most people my age have student loans, even if they got help with their educational funding. So here's what happened. I knew that it was going to be expensive with all that tuition and books and everything else. So I took out a student loan. I used that as seed money to fund a meth lab so that I could raise the funds to pay the tuition and the books, because that was kind of my feeling at this point. And they said, would you like to be referred for criminal prosecution for obstructing this process and for admitting to crimes? It's like, what? What I discovered, and this was confirmed for me later, is that my loan application had been rejected even before the conversation began, but they were obligated to make me jump through the hoops and make it look like they were being inclusive. Does that sound familiar?
It does indeed. I've heard that story many times before from people looking to start businesses or grow businesses around the country, and they get that runaround and they can spend weeks, months on what they think is going to be a deal like you're talking about, and really it never had a chance. And I spoke with a regional representative of Chase, which tries to help business owners, and like most banks, falls short. And she told me, listen, the truth is we'll see at each branch 20 business owners every week. Maybe 3 of them we can help. But at the end of the day, it's often 1 out of 20.
Yeah, and that's pretty sad. So now we're going to speed up a little bit, and let's start with, what are a few of the frequently asked questions you get from folks who are going through their process of deciding to work with you?
The first question is always, Leo, is this going to hurt my credit? Is this going to really damage my ability for additional financing or to get to buy a house or a car or whatever I need personally? I need to make sure this isn't going to hurt my credit. So we've partnered up with S.P.R.I.N.G to make sure that it's a soft credit snapshot. It's not going to ding their credit or hurt them to get a free pre-approval and find out their options. So that's the first thing. The second thing is, I want to make sure that I'm getting the very best funding. I want to make sure that I'm getting the very best that actually exists out there. And that's what's unique about us, because we have a marketplace. We're not just one lender with, just a couple SBA products. Like, we have the whole marketplace. We've funded thousands of clients for hundreds of millions of dollars. So we know pretty much what you can qualify for and can give you those options right to you. So that's the second question. Like, I want to make sure I'm qualifying for the best. And I want to know that I'm looking at all my options. And so that's what we provide them. And then the third thing is, okay, now I know this isn't going to hurt my credit to find out. I know what all the options are. Well, can we actually deliver on those? Because so many banks will say, oh, yeah, you're pre-approved. And then, 3 months later, no, it's actually declined and dead. And now, you're going to struggle to find anyone to be able to help you at that point with some hard inquiries on your credit. And so that's the third thing is, am I actually going to be approved for these funds? And what, hoops do I need to be able to jump through? Those are the 3 top questions that we certainly see with a client.
What are a few questions you wish people would ask?
Questions I wish people would ask is to find out what it actually takes to qualify, because everybody wants to explain why their story is unique and their business plan and why their business is going to succeed. But at the end of the day, most funding sources care about 3 things. They care about your credit. They care about your cash flow. Do you have some income? And it doesn't have to be business income. Maybe you have your W-2 job you still have. Maybe you have a spouse or partner who has income coming in. You can qualify just based on credit. You can qualify just based on income. And then you can qualify based on business financials and any assets you might have. So I wish people would ask, well, what do I actually qualify for? Because everybody has this idea, well, I should just be able to get that 5% or 4% SBA loan. And most business owners, especially new ones, are not going to qualify for that. They want to see profitable business financials. They want 100% collateral. If you've got an old 401k, they'll take that as collateral, right? And so they don't want to take any risks. And so if you're actually going to be honest and, well, what can I actually qualify for? That's a great question to ask. And what can I do to qualify for better financing in the future would be another question, because sometimes we have this misperception and this entitlement ideology that I just deserve this. And you don't. You have to qualify for it.
All right. Well, in the few minutes we have left here, let's sort of go into lightning round and let's get to know Leo a little bit better. Okay. So first question we'd like to ask is, what would people who know you be surprised to learn about you?
People that know me sometimes are surprised to find out that I'm the oldest of 9 kids from a small town in southern Utah called Beaver, where 3,000 people reside. And that's always surprising to people. Also, a father, husband of 5 children. And so people find that unique. A lot of people don't have a lot of kids these days. And so there is this connection where a lot of our clients and a lot of our partners it's a family thing. And it's, how can I create a better life for my family and my children? And we believe that you can do it by being an entrepreneur, by starting a business, by getting funding to do it, or even working in one of our funding partner programs and helping, share it with other people and earning an income that way.
what do you hope people say about you when you're not around to hear it?
I hope they say that I'm pushing and encouraging them to live their dream life. My kids all know that I ask them all the time, guys, what does your dream life look like? The biggest problem that I think a lot of people face is they grow up, they get busy, they graduate from college, they have student loans, and they get caught in the monotony of day-to-day life, and they lose sight of having big dreams and thinking bigger. So I hope they're asking that, what am I doing to achieve my dream life, and how can I help you do that?
Right. If you go back in time and change one thing you've done or one thing you've experienced, what would it be and why?
The biggest thing I would change is make sure that you're always operating, as much as possible in black and white areas. Stay out of those gray areas. Don't think that, I'm just being creative, thinking outside of the box. There's a difference between thinking outside of the box and thinking in ways that could get you, into issues with regulators. And so I would just say, always make sure that you're focused on doing everything the right way, and make sure you understand that in today's world, everything that you say, everything that you do is being recorded. So don't say or do anything that you would not be completely proud of, because it is being recorded. And so you do have to be your best self at all times.
What famous person, alive or dead, would you like to meet? And if you had the opportunity, what question would you have for them?
Famous person, alive or dead, I would go with Jesus Christ and ask him about his thoughts on entrepreneurship and entrepreneurs, and he talked about a rich man entering into the kingdom of God. It's very unlikely. It's kind of like a camel going through a needle or something like that.
Yeah.
And I would say that the best people I've met in life are entrepreneurs, and I'd want to get his feedback and thoughts on that.
Yeah. Jesus, believe it or not, is my answer too. And my question would be, what really happened? I know the Bible said it a certain way, but what was the real story behind that? Because, and again, I'm a believer. I'm a believer myself, and I feel a very personal relationship with Jesus. Like, he's somebody I can speak with without the thous and these and all that. So what I've always wondered is that whole water to wine thing. Did that happen because he forgot his wallet when he took his buddies out to the bar, and when the server came up and asked what they wanted, he said, "We'll just have water, thanks." See what I mean? Yeah, it's like, that's good people stuff. Like, whoa, how can you talk like that? But at the same time, I recognize Jesus was the Son of God. He was also a man. So he had the same humanity that we do. And the Bible was told by third parties. So what really happened there? Because I have a funny feeling that the real story of Jesus is actually even more interesting than we were taught.
I agree. That's a great question. I'd love to know that too.
Yeah. So next question I have for you is, we're getting close to the end here, is what motivates and inspires you to keep going when you're having a tough time or facing a challenge?
Again, for me, it's the success story, right? It's being able to play a part, and my belief that entrepreneurs and small business owners create the products and services that make our world a better place, and being able to be a cog in that and help get them access to capital and to educate them too, because so many of them, they don't know, what books should I be reading? What do I not know about taxes or business credit or setting up an entity or hiring a team, and how can I reduce my risks as an entrepreneur and business owner? And so all of that, I think, is stuff that drives me when times are tough and you're going through challenges. How can I, help that next business owner make a big difference? And then our funding partners are a big part of our success too. How can we serve them better and seeing their success, right? A lot of their students succeeding because we've got this relationship of working together. And so that definitely drives me, is seeing that next success story and that next person to be able to have a chance to live their dream out because we played a part in it with the funding.
Right. Now, finally, and I know you have something that you want to, an invitation for our audience, and I will share that with them. But in general, what is one action you would want our listeners to take as soon as they finish streaming this episode?
Yeah, one action I would want them to take is to find out what their best options are, right? What are your options? Because at the end of the day, there's a lot of things that hold us back as an entrepreneur or business owner. Maybe it's we need better marketing campaigns. Maybe we need, equipment. Maybe we need a better office. Maybe we need a better website. Maybe we need to hire more salespeople. Maybe we have to invest in software. And the one common denominator about each of these challenges is they all require probably some extra capital and money. And as the business owner, it's like, well, now that's money being taken out of my pocket that might be going towards my family. To know that I can have that funding and financing, that extra runway to invest in that growth, that really gives a business owner a lot of peace at the end of the day.
Fantastic. So for our listeners who are watching the video version of this on our website at www.brilliancepluspassion.com, you will now see on your screen the URL www.7, that's the number 7, 7figures.com. That's www.7figures.com. Visit that website, that's Leo's website, and you'll be able to access the free book, The Business Funding Formula and Credit College. So you really want to check that out. I've been on the website myself, and you are going to thoroughly enjoy what Leo and his team have for you. So with that, Leo Kanell, thank you so much for being with us today. It's been an honor, and believe me, in education.
My pleasure. Thanks for having us.
Thank you for tuning into the Brilliance Plus Passion podcast, where we celebrate entrepreneurs, business creators, and brilliant minds who are making a difference for their community, market, and audience. Remember to visit our website at www.brilliancepluspassion.com and enjoy even more great episodes like this one. Again, while you're here, subscribe to us via your favorite network. We look forward to seeing you next time on the Brilliance Plus Passion podcast.